There's a wild turkey in the driveway, guys. There were two of them there. Oh, there they are. There they are.
There's your tom turkey. He's got that thing hanging down from his neck.
Yeah. There they go.
They're going to be out in the pine trees.
There they go. Well, you've got the deer and the turkeys out here this morning. Yeah. You see the turkeys walking around. There they go. Very nice. Hello, YouTubers. After our very nice wildlife interlude this morning, later on around 9:30, I decided to go on a beverage run over to the Giant Eagle here at the shopping center down here at US 23 and end of Powell Road. And so I bought some more supplies that'll see me through, well, at least 2 or 3 weeks. On the way over on Powell Road, I noticed that there was a dead deer. Now the county had mowed, it'd be about 3 days ago, the day before they started drilling, which means, so, okay, day before yesterday, so 3 days ago. If you count using the old style convention of counting the current day as one. But I gotta watch, be sure I don't mess myself up here. So anyway, they had, you know, mowed, and so what they had done is they had mowed over and uncovered, hence uncovered, a dead deer. Now this deer didn't appear to be all that dead, so ultimately we may take a look at this deer. Meanwhile, I'm walking up here into the corner house area, and I'll show you some of the results of some of this survey work here. See, here's a, let's see, where's my thing? Here we go. See, that's actually a property pin that they found. It's an iron pin. It's the real property pin. And here's a truck of one of the core samplers. And if you look through the trees, there's another piece of the core sampler's equipment. So things are progressing apace. They've been drilling down at on the other side of the bridge here today. So fair enough. Anyway, let's see, I'm going to walk over here. It's a little easier. I go through where I had driven my truck through here the other day. I told you about when I got back from the Farm Science Review. There's a red splotch on the landscape. Here, I don't know if I've shown you some of this stuff or not. I'll show you a little bit of this stuff, a little bit more. Let's see here. Well, it's better I'll show it to you from the other angle. when I get up here. Okay. Let's just see. Everything seems to be working a lot better on me here today for some reason, which is nice. Some days that's the way it is, you know. Some days things work better, some days things don't. So when it's working good, you do the best you can when it's working good. So here's this garage. Now Paul's dad built this garage around 1986, 1987. Well, it was kind of a group effort, but it was mostly Paul's dad, and county takes that. This is the only one I'll really be sad to see go, but I'll be sad to see the house go as well. And I mean, that's a very sturdily built house, and I had that metal roof put on there in late 1984 when my son and daughter-in-law lived up here. But you gotta keep your son and daughter-in-law dry, don't you? So that may well go by the wayside. It's hard to say. And then we have here an old barn. I'll give you a better shot of it here a little later on. I'm going to walk up the road here to this dead deer thing now. It seems that the county in their mowing efforts yesterday, 3 days ago, knocked over this suite of mailboxes that was actually, they were functional mailboxes for an outfit called the Night Company, which was over here in this now very differently used piece of ground. It's now like a little school. Well, but it's like two parcels. In fact, this parcel here that comes up to the road is actually connected to the city of Columbus, whereas the school is not in the city of Columbus. But these were the Night Company's mailboxes. But I guess they no longer survived the onslaught of the mowing. I've not really shown you my front field here. This is my front field. About 4 acres, a little over 4 acres. And the goldenrod, this time of year it's so pretty. You got the goldenrod, and we'll move a little slower. I tend to move a bit fast here. So we'll shoot up. Now this is what the county considers their right-of-way. Now I think they're being a little overly optimistic on that, but I'm sure we'll find out. We'll come back around here. Look at this. Isn't it great? Isn't that neat? Now see, if you leave some of these thistles up, you get the yellow finches. The yellow finches really like thistles. And the one year I got that love letter and I had from the township and had to mow my stuff down, the yellow finches disappeared, but we've had them around this year and apparently nobody's pissed and moaned, so I'm moving around too fast, I'm sorry. Alrighty, let's go up here and look at this dead animal. Check out the trash on the side of the road that people throw into my field. Bunch of lowlifes, huh? That's very charming. There's really no good way to show you this spherical oak, which if I lose this during this confiscation process, I'm going to really regret losing this. This was planted by Paul's dad after he and his wife went down to North Carolina to bury a relative, and they dug up an oak sapling from the graveyard. They had to, sort of hike across a railroad track, and they went back to the cemetery, and here was this oak sapling, and Paul's dad dug it up and brought it home and planted it, and now it's just magnificent. And I'll really, really hate to lose this if they come in and tear stuff down. Now, you know, in the fall and later on, I'm sure I'll end up showing it to you probably. Deo Lente. This thing just becomes a magnificent flaming red presence up here. So unfortunately I'm showing it to you contre jour. That's French for against the light. Sorry for speaking French, but that's what it's called. If you do it properly as a photographic technique, it can be very effective, but it's not today. Well, this is a very sad image. You can see the abdomen's ruptured. Now, whether that was ruptured because of the impact of the vehicle or is ruptured because of the gas expanding in the animal's insides, it's hard to say. This is clearly one of the younger deer, so this is, you know, we had the two groups of three, you know, the mother and the two guys, two babies, youngsters, let's say. They're not babies now. And this may be one of the youngsters from one of the group of three. This might account for some of the skittishness that we saw this morning when we went out into the driveway. Normally those deer would not have run off from us unless the turkeys running off sort of, you know, encouraged them to join in the crowd. See, this had to have happened. Well, it's hard to say. I mean, I don't know whether it happened after they mowed or just before they mowed. I'll have to say just after they mowed. I first thought otherwise, but there it is. That's just very sad, but, you know, this creature will provide food for other creatures. I guess you can see that there's a number of them already swarming around on it. Well, at least it's not the mother, so maybe the other one will survive the winter. This one clearly ain't going to survive the winter. Here's another shot of the field going back down toward the end of Powell Road here. Look at those sycamore trees. Oh dear God, look at our sycamore trees. I was able to save that one from the county when they did the sewer line. You go out and you talk to these guys like a human being and not be an asshole, they'll work with you. Well, it's like anything else, isn't it? As the woman in the recovery room said, when she, you know, she'd been divorced, and she was asked, what are you going to do in your next marriage? Differently than you did in your first. And she says, I'm not going to be a bitch. And I think, you know, guys that have been divorced might take the same sort of advice, say, well, I'm not going to be a bastard, you're an asshole. So, you know, when you're dealing with people, don't be an a-hole. Just, you know, deal with them. You know, talk to them. I think Paul's coming up to take a look at this deer. Here comes Paul. He's coming up to look at the dead deer. You get a sense of the barn behind him. We're up here on Powell Road.
Hi guys.
Paul's examining the deer now.
I am
Well, obviously it's one of the twins, yeah. Well, time and change, just like we said yesterday, guys. Paul just, you know, stopped and looked to admire the tree I just showed you.
My father found a little stick thing. We were down in Jackson County at Uncle Andrew's place doing this big family reunion camp out there. And saw this little tree. I'm gonna take it home and plant it in the backyard. Well, he did. And that's it.
It's magnificent, isn't it?
It's there. It's beautiful. It's perfectly round.
Well, we'll show it to you one more time here this fall when it turns red here, guys.
And I hope they don't fucking touch it.
Well, they're going to. You know that. So, all right. Look at all the solid goldenrod. It's just so beautiful. It just takes my breath away. It makes my heart stop every time I look at it. I'm going to start to tear up now, so I'll shut up.